Today, on This American Dice Presents, Episode 43 of Ryoko Owari, City of Lies. The big reveal. A bombshell of evidence is uncovered as the magistrates dig deeper into the conspiracies that surround the city. Find out how it all happens today on This American Dice.
A large city surrounded by green walls and acres of poppy fields. A group of monks travel toward the city, exchanging prayers for whatever alms the poor peasants of the countryside can spare. In the noble quarter, we see a beautiful but imposing palace and a foreign-looking minareted estate. In the temple quarter, we see the glistening white temple of the sun goddess with a 60-foot pole topped by a shimmering golden spear, and the temple of the fortune of wealth with its towering statue of the patriot god of the city. Next door in the merchant quarter, we see busy streets with noisy merchants selling wares from all over Rokugan and beyond. On the other side of the Bay of Drowned Honor, the fisherman's quarter, dirtier with poorer commoners, meaner gangs, and shabby dwellings amid the docks and warehouses. We pass the leather workers' quarter, the home of the Hida, the Untouchables, and the only building of notice there, the city crematorium. Finally, we arrive at Teardrop Island, the license quarter, with its perpetual twilight of hanging lanterns, fine sake and geisha houses. We follow a man in a basket hat as he's beckoned inside by a beautiful geisha. He enters and removes his hat. We see one of the monks from the beginning. Ryoko Owari, City of Lies.
Who's the person who collects corpses? Eyebrows?
Yeah, he's like a coroner. Not, but also all of the Ada collect corpses, but Eyebrows is the one named,
yeah.
I believe.
Eyebrows is the one who brought the magistrates that amulet, yeah.
I just made this connection. What was your thing? Is like look for the prince and the paupers?
Eyebrows is the one! It's Eyebrows. Eyebrows is behind everything. You've been looking for paupers among princes instead of for princes among paupers.
Oh, there's that one too. Is that the one you meant? Okay. Well, the first one was steer away from things considered honorable and great, but keep on the lookout for great virtue.
None of this is okay.
Anyway, I just made that connection.
Alright, but Aji wants to talk to Eyebrows.
No, I'm going to send a letter.
You're going to send a letter?
For the next trial.
Eyebrows.
You can just call him to show up and he'll show up.
He's just a dude.
Yeah,
I don't even think he can read.
I'm going to go ahead and say, your assumption is he can't read.
Yeah.
All right.
Or your assumption is they can't read.
Our assumption. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Eyebrows is the prince among the paupers.
So, yeah, your assumption is that they can't read. If you want this guy to show up, you'll have to go say go get this one particular one.
Yeah.
I'll
send for Eyebrows. And I just want to ask him if he found anything unusual in the warehouse that got burnt down recently.
He'll show up, and you're at the magistrate's residence?
Yeah.
He kind of keeps his eyes down like he's supposed to, and he says, I mean, one of your friend Yugare was found there. We thought he was dead. Ishi-sama had me bring him back here, but there was nothing else that was found. Actually, someone found bones that looked more like an animal's than like a person's, but...
You still have those?
Oh, no, they were burned.
Is there a chance that they didn't burn away completely? They could be still in the fire pit?
Yes, I can check for you on that. Of course, I'll absolutely ask the others who were working the crematorium that day.
Oh, yeah. Do that for me, please. Also, I'm going to call out for Buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, Buttons.
Buttons, who's not your servant? Sure.
Yeah, but he's there.
Yeah,
I was like,
eventually he'll be like, oh, yes, Master Aji?
Why are you calling me?
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't even know you.
Look, he's the man who saved Yugare.
He's like, oh, yes, that's right. He was very, very, very excellent. And he's like, oh, no, he doesn't say that. And he's like, I think he says like, oh, I'm glad you helped Ishi-sama. I'm glad you helped Ishi-sama bring my master back here. He basically doesn't even acknowledge that this guy could have helped save him.
And he kicks him. He's like, someone I can pick on.
Yeah, exactly. Shit rolls downhill, motherfucker. He says that. He lifts up his shirt actually, and it says that on his stomach. Anyway, so but yeah, you'll see that social interaction where that thing kind of does occur. Well, he basically he acknowledges what you say, but gives Ishi the credit for doing that thing, saying Eyebrows helped him do it.
Yeah. Well, it's boring at home, and I just wanted to see some.
For you two fight to the death for my pleasure.
Well, I thank Eyebrows.
Okay. He can, if you want to extend the scene and get more information from him about that, I can say he can leave, and since this is 3 to 5 days, he can come back with more information about this.
All right.
And he can tell you that on the day that they burned those bodies, all of the people that were working in the crematorium got very, very sick. And they did talk about how there was like a black gunk in the crematorium, like that they hadn't seen before. It almost looked like pitch. They cleaned it out, but all the guys that were working that day got very ill.
Was that from the...
I'm going to go ahead and say you can probably deduce it's connected to that.
Let's assume yes. All right. It's cool. Take note. Who's that guy who I'm buddies with at the Emerald Cup?
Dyson.
Oh yeah. I'll send a letter with some money to compensate the 2 guys that lost their clothes with me.
Okay, cool.
Here's like 3 cents by your clothing bag.
Yeah.
Virtually.
Okay.
Well, he paid off my debts. I got money to throw around. So.
All right.
Small token.
I'll take a small token that says, don't forget.
It's a Chuck E. Cheese
That
token.
time we lost our clothes together.
Well, I'm good for now.
Okay, well, do you have anything like real... So you got that info from Eyebrows. Any other stuff that you need to ask him about that amulet or anything like that?
Oh, the amulet. Who has that amulet?
Did we say that he cleaned it and maybe that's one of the things when he comes back he can say like he's cleaned it.
I thought he cleaned it and left it.
Oh sure, yeah. So you guys have it. It's been cleaned, and
yeah, but I'm pretty sure
part of that I think means like Yugare like blessed it in a de-gunkification ceremony.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. Well, can I employ Eyebrows to find what unicorn clan family this medallion belongs to?
Eyebrows will have that he will have no idea
Is
that
that like a
information.
thing you could know? Is it? I didn't know it was a mom.
Possibly.
I didn't realize it was a mom.
You could maybe try to figure something out with that. I don't think it's a mon. I think it's just like a symbol that contains a unicorn in it and is in the style that only they would likely wear about. You could maybe make a roll about that.
Okay.
It sounds like a Rita situation roll based on this thing.
I'm great at that.
We get to roll the 5.
Not today.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I fail. That's a 5.
All right, nice.
Man, it's just bad.
That's why I wanted Eyebrows to do it. I'm trying to circumvent this, okay?
Okay.
Well, if I were to do how about, is Horse the Merchant? Is she alive?
No, she's specifically dead.
Well, poor memory.
That's like one of the definite merchants that I'm like, yeah, that one's
Evidence
dead.
pointed to the unicorns as the ones who killed.
How about,
I think we're done. You're kind of like thinking about you're grilling Eyebrows about all this stuff, and it's like, and then but just at the end of the like this long conversation with him, you're like, oh, this dude doesn't know what's up.
Nope, never seen a unicorn before.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I'm just a backcountry lawyer. Yeah. So yeah, he doesn't know what's going on with that stuff.
I don't have much to do. I guess I can take a turn, though. I did want to point out, I forgot before Yugare started, especially since Yugare left that meeting. Taiyo, I hate him. But I remember last session, I made a point, maybe if you visit your wife or something, it's like, oh, I'm going to make sure to pay for your children or something. They'll be taken care of. Like I sent that letter when I was watching Korachika last session.
Oh, so Yugare's wife has a letter that's like, don't worry, I'll make sure that your family's well taken care of.
Yeah, last session I had said that when I thought he was dead. It's like, oh, I think it was like, I sent it to his letter, or to his wife.
Mm-hmm.
I said wife to his letter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Okay.
It was just like, oh, you'll be taken care of. Let me know how much you need for these children or something. I'm sorry to hear about Yugare's news or whatever.
I'm dead for 2 hours and you move in on my wife.
Kind of, I guess.
Nice.
I'll replace you.
Way to twist that shit
Replace
up.
you next.
The way I interpreted it was that.
No, I love it.
No, I don't think
Very true.
Yugare hates Taiyo, and that's what is more stressful about it. It's like,
But yeah, I was reminded of that because I guess I'm just going to send a letter to the Bayushi guy and maybe make that magistrate roll. Really the only thing planned.
Okay, go ahead and make that magistrate roll first.
Investigatious.
You roll a 9, so it's probably a 10 or more. 11.
That's
12.
12.
A 12. All right. What happens with that?
You just ask any question. 3 of any question.
No.
Wrong.
I wish.
how many molecules are in the universe?
Plenty. All right.
12 plus.
At least 12.
I gain a wealth and a favor, basically. It's the idea. Oh no, that's only on 7 and 9 is I uncover corruption. But on a 10 plus, I just gain a wealth and favor for doing a good job, I guess.
Okay. Sure.
We did it.
All right. Okay, and you're writing a letter to Bayushi Shoju?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can say that you can maybe have, again, the travel is supposed to be rough. We could maybe have like a back and forth about that.
Okay. Yeah, I think the first one's just, I forget exactly how I said it last time, to Korchika, the governor is making moves against Korchika, and beyond my control. Since it's the governor, the only person who can stay his execution would be someone of your honorable stature.
Mm-hmm. Do you tell him like specifics?
Yes, like he's being charged with being a drug lord.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'll say what he's accused of. At least
Okay.
it's like, my colleagues and I have been doing all we can to keep the city safe under difficulties, and I might just leave it at that.
Okay. What do you want Shoju to do?
Intervene so the governor can't execute him, I guess.
Sounds good.
And I mean, maybe set a replacement up,
Okay.
or at least name if it would be his son or not, Otado.
Okay. Go ahead and make a manipulate roll on that one.
That's the one I'm great at.
This would have been
6.
great 12, 9.
You got a 9. Okay.
It's 12 minutes.
So,
Best friend of the Lord of the Bayushi.
Shit.
so,
He also has a crush on me.
I think you get a response, which is basically I'll send Hyobu a message asking her to spare Korchika from execution. He'll point out. So you're going to get that, but I think just to make this faster, I'm going to tell you the concrete assurance he wants, just to make this quicker, especially since it's via letters. But he'll basically include in the thing essentially don't make sure no moves against Hyobu are made.
Interesting.
I think he'll say don't do anything to aggravate or antagonize the governor. Mm-hmm. I think and you wanted to know about an advisor or who should run this stuff.
Yeah, or who, if he's not going to be the head of the family person, it's Otado or what? Or at least to make that clear so that for the city, it's he's disgraced. He can't be.
Is it me?
No, I don't think Taiyo's aiming for that.
Okay.
Though that would be sneaky.
Ooh, I
I kind of like it.
See?
think that
Just
would he answer that question? I think he might have to wait he might wait on that one.
Yeah, or maybe Taiyo wouldn't be that bold, or just say I implore you to name someone as soon as possible to help us maintain peace.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I think he sends you the first part of that, but doesn't give you a name. Mm-hmm. Traditionally this stuff is fairly hereditary.
Yeah.
Unless the Lord of the... From what you gathered probably from talking to Korchika, it would be hereditary, and Otado would be the next in line to do this stuff, unless Bayushi Shoju, the head of the Bayushi family, said this other person's going to come in and do this thing. Mm-hmm. So Otado is the heir apparent to this, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay. Cool. All right. Awesome. Hold on one second.
Then in these, I don't know how timeline's going, but I'll probably tell people that.
Okay.
Tell people that we shouldn't mess with.
Yeah, like the Bayushi Taiyo.
The Scorpion, the head of the Scorpion clan.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, you realize he's that big. Okay.
Yeah.
The Scorpion clan, what about him?
Says, he strongly says we shouldn't, or strongly opposed to us, right? Is that how he put it?
He said, don't do anything to antagonize her. Yeah.
Is there, like, as not a scorpion, is there clout that I should care about?
We should give a shit. I mean, like, obviously, everybody should.
You guys technically don't have to listen to that dude.
Yeah.
So, Taiyo does.
Yeah.
Although that's always the issue of which is my master, like.
Yeah, because this is Scorpion Lands, but as like Emerald Magistrates,
right?
It's not.
So I'd consider following that instruction a personal favor to Taiyo.
Right. This is the governor telling you to back off, but you're feds.
Oh, it's like if you're in Game of Thrones on the wall, and the head of the Stark family told you to do something on the wall. Technically, here again.
Okay.
Right. Finally, Ishi. What is Ishi up to?
Well, I'm going to do what I was doing when I get evidence. I'm going to go talk to Hida about it. When I get evidence about unicorns, I'm always like, sup, Hida Bernardo? What's happening, dog?
So you want to go speak with Hida Bernardo. All right. So you have a good relationship with him. I'll say you go to the Hida residence. I'm so used to saying magistrate residence. Yeah. You go to the Hida residence, and you get there. There's like some time that it takes for you to meet with him. But then, yeah, he'll meet with you, and I think he meets with you in a room that's somewhat, maybe you met with him before during that party. It's kind of like an office, and there are chairs that are very much like not the Rokugan style of like sitting very low to the ground. Maybe like a big desk that he has. And again, the roof is much more kind of this, there's like fabric hung from the roof, or the ceiling, I should say, because you're indoors. But he'll offer you tea or sake, and servants will come and bring that, and he'll just ask, Ishi-san, what can I do? What can I do for you?
As always, I'm sorry to come to you with bad news, but on the this signal, like, show him the thing, the amulet. This was discovered on the body of a dead man, and I was wondering if you know what this is, because the only thing I know on it is the fact that there's a unicorn on it, but I don't know like what family it comes from or who this man even is.
Well, I'm not sure of what family it comes from. It doesn't seem to indicate. It's not any of the family mons of any of the families of the Unicorn Clan. It's undeniably got a unicorn on it, and it does seem not in the style of most Rokugani jewelry or Netsuke, certainly, but it doesn't scream of a particular family.
I definitely want to read it personally.
Go for it.
Oh, this man.
Maybe it's a $2 coin.
It's a toonie. We have it. All right, over 9 plus
12.
It's 12.
It's a 12. Awesome.
Ask any question. I want 3 of them.
Cool.
3 of any question.
Awesome.
Ask him. Does he know what to say? It seems like a little shit question. I can ask him anything. Is he involved in this thing?
Hida Bernardo? Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Remember, you can ask them during the conversation with read a person.
Yeah. So you can tell us he's answering these questions as he's like, well, I see that it can't. It's undeniable that it's blah, blah, blah. And you're answering this question in a way where you're saying what is a true statement, because there's a lot more to this. And the only reason you'd want to hide this is if you are definitely involved in this.
We've been friends since I came to this city. I would consider us friends at least. I just don't. Absolutely. I come to you for help from time to time, and I just don't understand why you just don't want to help me. Why you wish to lie to me and tell me half truths. You're such a learned man. We both know that you know what this signifies.
I think he does the thing where he steeples his fingers and kind of puts them to his lips, like this kind of number. Not more thoughtful than like evil Mr. Burns.
It's called a unicorn horn.
Yes. Yes.
Quiet. The unicorn is thinking.
Yeah. Yes, he does that, and he says, Ishi, I I view us as friends because I view you as a man who values justice. If you value justice, please let me keep helping you.
Didn't the demon say these exact same words?
Okay. Calm down.
Do you believe in justice?
Calm down.
Let me help you.
Maybe his Ishi is a soft spot for this argument, alright? Maybe we discovered this before.
He's about to bare Nado his soul to you.
Hold on.
If you fight, you can always bare Nado the hatchet afterward.
Trying to word this. Pretty much like there are far greater atrocities under the law happening in the city than what you may have done. But as a magistrate, I need to know what you were doing.
And he like kind of like presses his hands together as if he's like kind of like holding back like a certain amount of anger. And he says, if what you want is justice, and what you want is the Emperor's law enforced, what's been happening is the purging of a great evil from this city. Please let it continue.
So Jesus, is he the man behind? Is it? Sorry, who is that? The lady with the demon? Is it Toan and yourself?
Yeah,
so she's Ryoko.
Is that what you ask him?
The weirdest situation.
Right, I'm asking, is that one of your questions?
Yeah, it's one of my weirdest situation questions. Yes, maybe not
More subtle.
verbally, more subtle than that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yo, dog, are you a demon?
Right. So he says that, which sounds like a very like thing a villain would say.
Yeah, it's pretty villainous.
Like, is he involved in magic or something?
Right. But so if that's what you want to know, like, is he involved with these like demons and that kind of stuff? So I think he says that thing that sounds very much like what a villain would say, but you kind of look in his eyes and you realize that this is like, no, he is not.
That's good.
Right. That he's not involved in any of this stuff with demons.
That's good. That's a plus to him.
So the magical fire and stuff that was different than that one.
Probably, yeah.
And that one time when the opium was like flying around or something, that was when the boat was set on fire.
Was it the night when like all three clans were hit? Was that night? With the boat thing?
The boat thing was later.
The boat thing was later?
I don't know.
That was the boat thing.
You should ask him how he helped.
Well, I have an extra question.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Ask him what he's done.
Yeah, I guess I'll just ask what has he done? Yeah, sure. What has he done? What has this man done?
So I think
Guilty of.
So I think in character, because I'm gonna intervene here for just a second. I think in character you ask like what is it that you've done, and he basically tries to tell you, if you continue as a magistrate with your investigations, you'll find the greatest amount of justice done. You can stop the cancer that's been growing in this city for far too long, and basically remove it from the empire before it poisons too many more of its children. And you see like that, he's like on that line, he gets very like visibly upset. Mm-hmm. And but so he's basically in character telling you, saying to you, do you really want to know all this stuff, mm-hmm. or do you want to just continue doing your job, given that like the opium world has taken a serious hit in the last several weeks or months?
As a player, I definitely am.
Right. Okay.
As the man that I am sitting here, yes, right. I would like to know.
Okay, so
roll by it.
Yeah. All right. So we'll figure out how. I'll ask you how you figure this out later. But you realize like he has planned all of these assaults on the opium cartels.
Oh boy.
So he's been the one who's planned all this stuff. He doesn't know anything about that demon. That's like.
Does he know anything about like that illusion that happened in the fields when the fields got burned? Was that him?
I don't think you can find necessarily all the specifics, but you know he's been responsible for all of these attacks on the cartels.
That is one of the attacks.
Right. Okay. So yeah, he is responsible for all of those things.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go,
I just want to make sure like what was held and responsible for all the attacks on the cartels, because
mm-hmm.
they've also been flinging shit at each other, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you guys were there when Hyobu assaulted. Whoa, you okay?
Yep.
When Hyobu assaulted
so I know they've been flinging shit at each other.
Stuff. Yeah.
You're saying most of the things that have happened between the clans been him.
All of the attacks that all of the attacks that you know were not just one cartel attacking the other have been him. Okay. All the ones where it's been questionable, he's been responsible for it.
Okay, but no demons.
We solved something.
I did it, boys and girls. I rolled a 12. Well, I kind of knew before, but rolled 12.
You congratulate him, right?
Yeah.
Character.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like,
High fives.
High fives, I remember. I'd probably say something along the lines of, well, thankfully the situation with the cartels is coming to a head, so we can all clean our hands of this mockery of the Emperor's law. So I am being like, okay, cool. Like, I know that's the end of that. I don't have to know anything else. Like, we're good.
But yeah, he just says he'll flat out say to you like as a friend and as a man who wants justice, what has been happening. And again, he doesn't admit to any of this stuff directly, but you figure it out. But like as a friend and as a man who wants justice, please, like, let this diseased snake die.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think after that, like, we exchanged pleasantries, like, we talked about, how are the kids, all that bullshit.
I think some of those are like, they're still somewhat, they're pretty awkward because like that was like a big conversation, and I think like you could tell like he got like upset through some of that.
Every time I bring up over him, he's like, well, I'm pissed now, bro, and I'm like, sorry, but yeah, that's definitely how that conversation runs its course, and then you guys have some awkward kind of small talk.
Really, is it waiting for you to go?
Yeah,
the right time to do it.
It's cold, huh?
Yes, go home.
It's cold outside. No, please, I want you to leave.
He sings that song.
I sing that song. He sings the please leave part of that song. Just in the song.
Is he a baronado tone when he sings?
Alright, you gotta send me that shit for posterity, and I just have it as like a sound bite on my phone that I can just play. Andrew tries to make random Baronada puns.
Alright.
It'll just play a random Baronada pun for me, Andrew. Wonderful.
Okay. In these 3 to 5 days, do any of you guys care about,
What?
No.
That's a question. Any of you guys, like, give a shit this shit's happening?
Right. So, throughout this time, do any of you guys care about like what the word on the street is among people?
Like how people feel?
Like how what people are saying about all of this stuff that's happening.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Could you go ahead and make me a sagacious roll?
Both of us, or just him?
Whoever is interested. I would suggest not everybody do it, just because then, especially if we have like middling successes or failures, those things add up like real quick.
Or I'll probably try and do it through the Emerald Cup if that changes anything. Different answers maybe if we go through.
Oh yeah, that could happen. Alright, Taiyo got a 9.
I got a 9.
We rolled the
got a
same
9.
exact thing.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, so you both got 9s. Alright, I'll say that like Ishi is able to hear that about half of the nobles that he talks to want the magistrate. They're like almost kind of pushing that. Why don't the magistrates restore order to the city? And like, isn't this like they're not doing it rudely, but kind of like implying like, isn't it your job to restore order? Shouldn't you be doing something about this?
Is it martial law time, guys? We can like petition to raise troops and everything. That's in that book.
In commandeer troops, yeah.
Commandeer troops. We can hold martial law here.
Also, our number one order is to keep peace.
I'm just saying, maybe it's that martial law.
Yeah. So you hear that, like it's like you guys should restore order from about half the people.
Mm-hmm.
The other half of the people that you hear from actually tell you no. It's Osako's job to do this stuff. You guys shouldn't worry about this stuff. This is Osako's job. Some of them are saying it as well, it's under her jurisdiction, and other people are saying it as oh, this is a Scorpion City. Let her make that bed, and her, like that kind of thing. Let her clean up this mess. That's a better analogy. Taiyo in the Emerald Cup.
What kind of people visit the Emerald Cup?
the
Nobles?
strong of harm.
Yeah, not a lot
Not
of
nobles, like
So
a lot of
here-
strong firemen and
Yeah.
normal people.
So you hear like a lot of merchants that come through who basically just say, like this, what's going on now is way worse than it was before. Like, yeah, people used opium, and we know that some of these gangs sold opium, but now they're just like fighting with one another, and people are freaked out, and there was a huge monster before.
Mm-hmm.
So in what way are we are less safe than we have been in a while. Whatever's going on needs to stop, and we need to go back to the way that things were a couple of months ago, like before winter started, before winter began.
I agree with all.
So, yeah. So you hear that from a lot of these merchants, from a lot of like the folks on the ground, and you can hear among the strong arm. You hear about these fights a lot. That the Moment's Edge attacked some of the guys that were with Aji. Taiyo hears about that, and that they're real pissed off about that, and like some of them have been really pushing to head into the Fisherman's Quarter, and pretty regularly that's gone on. I think you learn that, I think it's called the Bridge of Drunken Lovers is the name of this bridge. Like, it is almost daily the site of at least one brawl between these guys. Like, it's not necessarily like a huge gang of these dudes, but there's a fist fight on that bridge almost every day.
Against the fire eaters, right?
It's between the Moment's Edge, who are in the Fisherman's Quarter, and the Strong Arm, who are in the Merchant's Quarter.
Gotcha. Who's this down here?
The Fire Eaters.
Okay.
The Fire Eaters in the southern part of the Fisherman's Quarter, the Moment's Edge in the northern part.
Bicep.
You got it.
It's not wrong.
Veiny on.
Very, very correct.
Oh, veiny. Horny vein. Alright. Cool. You guys set with that? Alright. So, at the end of this 5 days, this is kind of the situation. A message from Bayushi showed you had arrived. Bayushi Korochika is under house arrest. So he's back at his house, but he is not permitted to leave that house. And there's like a group of Thunder Guard that are outside of it. His number of retainers has also, because you remember all of the retainers that he had pretty much were killed. So they might have like just some servants. He perhaps has like one bodyguard for his family, and then he and his son. And so it's like they only have like one unnamed samurai retainer who's there. So that's kind of what you had heard. You guys are going to hear some news. Where are you when you hear this weird news? Just give me like a place you might be. That would be interesting for you to hear some news. I know that sounds like it's not. That's so broad. I mean, if you're at the Emerald Cup, I think that would be really, really well. If Taiyo was at the Emerald Cup, that would work.
Freebie.
Let's say that, or like,
yeah. Let me give you some of the news, actually, and then I'll tell you that, and then we'll see where these guys are and where they are when they hear it.
Okay.
So you're there, and then Auntie.
Yeah.
So Taiyo was at the Emerald Cup, and Auntie comes up to him and says like, oh, Master Taiyo-sama, I've heard that there's been some kind of problem. And she said outside some of the firemen were talking that there had been a brawl like somewhere else in the Merchant Quarter, and I'm going to say there had been a brawl in the Fisherman's Quarter.
Okay.
That's a wildly different place.
I know, yeah. Well,
across the bay.
It's the other side of town completely. Not really.
Yeah.
And where the poor people live.
It's like from
there had
here to here, right?
Yeah. So there had been a brawl somewhere in the Fisherman's Quarter, and Otado-san was killed.
That's good.
You sure it was Otado?
Korochika's son?
Okay, yeah. I thought as much. Then you're like, oh yeah, great news. A+.
Wait, the fireman?
Definitely.
She had been told by some of the firemen that there had been a brawl and Otado was killed.
Oh, okay.
So there's a bunch of weird things about that, for sure. But so I think you hear that. All right, so you guys are going to get somewhat similar news. Where are you when you guys hear this? And not all of you need to hear this, but like at least one or two other people should hear something.
I'm probably
Any interesting places?
just at the civil hall and just like doing work, doing like in our office. I'm like doing routine magistrate work, like just with bullshit that we do, like sending travel papers. Like
Okay.
we don't do a lot of that. The whole town's freaking out, but
Yeah.
still do a little bit. Still have to. It's a requirement.
I think you overhear some Thunder Guard talking about this, and if you ask them, they'll like let you in on the information. They don't hide it from you, but they'll tell you like, oh yeah, there was a fight between there was an argument between Otaku Naishi, who's one of the unicorn, and Bayushi Otato, and somebody killed Otato.
Jesus, okay.
So you hear that,
That's the favorite.
and who else hears this?
I guess Yugare is like maybe still going around with Renyu, and maybe there's like a house or a building where we rooted out several people and they were executed, and Yugare is just kind of like the next day maybe just went back by himself and is just like meditating there, like am I doing the right thing? And maybe there are some of Renyu's like Ishi's former people still working with them, so like they're maybe just like the Renyu retinue is just like nearby, like worried about Yugare and still like following leads, and they heard rumors or something.
Okay. You hear about like a fight that had taken place, and you hear that somebody was going to kill that Bayushi Otato, Korchika's son, was going to like murder this innocent merchant, and that Bayushi, what is her name? Otaku Naishi, like saved the merchant's life, and Otato died in that process.
Interesting.
So I think that on this 6th day after that big giant warehouse fire with the Oni, you guys get these messages.
Battle baited? Is that the Otaku plan?
Yeah, the Otaku are
So sassy.
Oh yeah. So this is the message you guys get.
I mean, I guess they don't know, but I'll probably just ask them like, oh, did you hear like who the merchant was or why Otato would have wanted to kill him?
Sounds like you're trying to read a situation.
Yeah.
Not a bad roll.
13.
13. Do you have that advanced?
Yep.
All right.
What's that do with my advantage?
You just could ask anything.
I think I'm just asking one of these
Go for it.
retinue, so who's in control here?
Ooh. You feel like Otaku Naishi is part of the Unicorn Clan, and the story is that she killed Otato, and
Do you agree that Otato was in a week? It
it's
would have been weird for him to make a move like that.
but the it's a really tough one to figure that out, because here's what you can tell. Neither of them was really in control in particular, but you could tell Otato was in a weaker place for sure. So neither of them.
Right. I think that doesn't
That they were both in a very weak position.
hugely affect Yugare's immediate intentions, but it's a discussion point next time. In the evening, he'll go back to the magistrate residence. And,
Any other those other questions? You got 2 more.
oh, 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
What should I be on the lookout for?
Ooh, what should you be on the lookout for? Why would Otato be after this merchant, and why would a unicorn samurai co defend this merchant, and why the hell were the 2 of them both in the fisherman quarter? Like, they definitely shouldn't be here. It's weird that you're here.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Meditate in the middle of the street.
Yeah, just all of that seems suspicious.
And what's my enemy's true position?
What's your enemy's true position?
That's always a good one to ask.
In this one.
Every time Austin's like, oh, fuck.
Well, it's just tough because you guys have so many enemies.
Which
And
is
it's
awesome,
and it's
always
like
the case.
in the situation. Right.
I
So
just picked one.
what's your enemy's true position?
Hey, behind you.
Right.
Honey?
Oh, it could be. You realize if this gets out of hand, this could be a big problem between these 2 clans. And you know that the Unicorn have a large presence in the city, and the Bayushi have a lot to prove given how their position has been hurt in this city. And so if this isn't handled cautiously, this could lead to some very serious bloodshed. So your enemy's true position is your question?
Mm-hmm.
Your enemy's true position is the conflict between these two clans that could come out of this situation. That's kind of answering a different question for you, but
Yeah.
I think that points you in the direction of the danger.
All right.
All right.
I guess I maybe would head back right away, given the gravity and potential.
You head back to the magistrate's residence or the civil hall?
I guess the civil hall is where I'd expect to find Ishi, at least if it's his shift.
It's my shift. We only have to do like 1 day a week for 35 minutes.
Yeah.
It's all we're legally required to do.
I better walk quickly.
You better hurry up, bro.
My shift's over. Goodbye.
See ya.
He's at lunch.
Last time, I'm only here for 35 minutes, and 30 of them I'm at lunch.
All right. What are other folks doing with this info?
We need to figure out a way that this shit doesn't explode into like a shit show.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to talk to
You're gonna all gonna meet
So
up.
Taiyo's going to find Ishi? Okay, so we can say all you guys meet at the civil hall?
I said a word for Aji.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aji could come in there as well. So yeah, so the four of you are at the civil hall.
Meeting part 2.
Maybe. All right.
Hey guys, I heard this rumor. It seems bad.
Does seem really bad. How do we stop this from blowing out of control?
Already suggested the way.
Apparently it was Otaku Naishi, one of the unicorn. That's like the only family I guess we haven't dealt with, right?
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Well, does anyone have any insight into maybe this wasn't just a random incident? There was some machination involved that someone seeks to gain from the situation?
It makes no sense to attack the Bayushi family since they're so crippled at the moment.
We just have to figure out why they were there. I think that's the biggest thing. Figure out why they were there. We'll figure out if there's somebody behind it.
Right.
But
Perhaps the spirits could give me some insight at the location of the event.
perfect. Do talk to the Haku family. If they have people lost.
What should I tell Korchika?
Do you think he has heard already?
Yeah, I figure out why his son was there, I guess. I don't know. It's really bad. He's been almost opposed to power, and now his son's dead.
But now there's how many other sons, right?
Right, yeah. That is his only living child, as most of the world knows.
Yeah, that's right. He does have.
Wait, is that the one that's the child's left over there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't know what
that's going to make things just he's on house arrest and they take over for him.
Could be.
Taiyo plotted all this out from the beginning.
Yeah, goddamn, this boy. You just knew it. Tyler's behind every plot in this city. That's for sure.
Okay.
Don't look at my tongue.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's why you're never eating lollipops. Alright, so you want to go talk to Korchika? Taiyo?
Fucking mask. Figure out why his son was there, I guess. Like, really, there's no good thing to say to Korchika at this moment in time. His son is dead. His only surviving heir is dead.
Yeah.
It's just real bad. I mean, you do, though. You feel like you can get information out of him or calm him down.
Yeah, make sure he stays listening to the daimyo.
Orders.
I'll mention to Taiyo, ask about that horse. Because that horse is Tato's horse. The best one in the city. It's got
killed.
It's got a star. Is it dead?
Yeah, they killed it.
What?
You missed so many dead things. Things die all over the
So
damn
many
place.
horse-related dead
Horse
things.
is dead. That horse is dead. A bunch of other horses, I assume.
The only horses dying are unicorns, alright?
Whoa.
Except maybe that one son from Hida there, not but that was a long time ago.
So Taiyo's going to go talk to Korchika. What are you guys up to?
I'm going to go talk to the other family. Like, I'm going to go try to make contact with this family that we fucking forgot about. I assume they have a presence in the city, somebody who's the head of the family where that matters. Or just go talk to the lady herself, I guess.
Okay, you're going to go like try to find her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just find her.
Hey, did they capture her or what?
Yeah, is she captured or is she just like running? You don't fucking know.
You guys can talk to...
I'm going to try to find her.
You find Yoko Osaka and talk to her about that stuff.
Sure, I'll go to Yugare, the lady, and I just...
Oh, do you want me to do it?
History of shit.
She's right next to Korchika.
I'm at my office. I can just walk
in this
over.
building that you're in,
You can just walk over and be like, yo, lady, what's happening?
And then you go further down, there's the jail.
Yeah, you can do that if you want. Well, I would like to go talk to the girl.
I'm going to go to the location where it happened.
Did you want to talk to the girl?
So you're
talking to your girl first.
Okay, so
Us there.
Taiyo is going to.
Now, Yogo Sako.
Yogo Sako. Ishi is going to speak with.
I'm going to go to Yogasaka with him to find the girl, to go speak with the girl.
Okay, so Ishi is going to the scene of the crime.
Yugare is.
Yugare is going to the scene of the crime, and Aji is.
I'm going to go with them and see what they do, and then I'll decide based on their results.
So Aji, Taiyo, and Ishi are going to go speak with Yogo Sako. Yugare hears some rumors about where this happened and heads there.
Yeah.
Talk to them.
Cool. All right. So you guys. So it'll be quicker to find Yogo Sako, I think, than for Yugare to get over there. So Taiyo, Ishi, and Aji find Yogo Sako doing something in the speaking with some Thunder Guard somewhere in the Civil Hall, and she kind of turns, and the three of you are approaching her, and she's like, "Yes."
What?
We heard about the scuffle in the fisherman's quarters.
She says, "So there seems to be some kind of." Oh, and I think she'll almost say which one.
Oh yeah, I mean they're all fighting over there, all the thunder or the fire.
The one that these two were involved in.
Yes, it's unfortunate, but matters like that happen among samurai. We are warriors.
Poor timing. Do you know if Otako Kanaishi was ever?
She says. She basically says oh, this seems to just have been a matter of some kind of matter of honor. So
she was just back.
So no, she'll tell you she hasn't been apprehended. This seems to have been a dispute that led to a matter of honor of some kind or another. So she's just treating it as a duel, basically.
You did say that those two from this thing.
Oh,
that does seem.
I believe it. No, so
it still seems suspicious.
No, it definitely seems suspicious. Yoga Saka doesn't know where I could find her at all, does she?
And she'll tell you oh, I'm fairly sure she's I'm fairly sure she lives at the Ide residence. Sure. Could be found there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that place, remember, is huge.
I wasn't really thinking about that. For some reason, I was like, oh, they all have their different houses, but that place is.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll just go there.
So she's also supposed to be. She and her sister are supposed to be very young, or fairly young. The Koku kids, as you kept calling them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's one of them.
Yeah, so she is part of that crew of people.
Crew of people is anything. Okay, anyway, guess that's. Do you guys need to ask her? Was that going anything? Gonna go to this.
But yeah, she's basically no, she wasn't arrested. This seems to be just samurai doing their thing. Yes.
So then you leave?
Yeah, I'm going. I'm like, all right, well, thank you for the help for a second, but. Mm-hmm. She's just gonna stand there awkwardly, not even having a conversation, just look at Aji. Just make yourself scarce, Aji.
I mean, I might start. Where's Yogo Saka going?
I assume that she was just doing completing various business in the Civil Hall.
Sorry.
She could be going somewhere if we narratively need her to leave someplace for there to be a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she had heard that there was some other kind of problem in the merchant quarter in this place, and so she's gonna look into that.
Sort of a look, the walk and talk at least.
Mm-hmm. What's Aji up to, real quick? Because it was the three of you trying to talk to her.
Oh, it's just my character feels like he knew this would happen. His power was not restored. But
are you going with Ishi to?
I guess I'll tag along Ishi because
is Ishi cool with that?
Yes, I know.
He has no reason to deny.
I have no reason to be no, don't come.
All right. Is it crazy to you guys that Taiyo's and I'm not going to come?
Well,
it's a little weird, but
I could say
that's
that.
kind of what Taiyo does.
I could let Ishi go by himself and I'll just go with Yugare. Because Yugare will need protection if anything goes down rather than...
So you can go
all right, so Aji,
Yugare.
Maybe you could have not been here in this conversation. So Aji was with Yugare the whole time?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, that makes that easier. All right, so you're now heading to the Ide residence, and Yugare and Aji are heading to the fisherman's quarter, to the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can have this conversation with Yogo Sako because I think it's not going to be too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's heading to somewhere in the merchant quarter because she heard that there was some kind of crime committed.
I just want to basically ask, is this probably cartels, do you think?
And she, yeah.
Basically, were you telling them the truth?
She says she doesn't know. Like, she's like, I don't think it has, it doesn't have anything to do with them to my understanding. But there's only one cartel left, and it doesn't have anything to do with that one. Mm-hmm. The one that still exists.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. But.
All right. Yeah. That's basically.
Yeah. That's she'll tell you that and say.
Excuse me. Obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, and I think she'll throw in some like character stuff where she was like, Otada was always like a super angry kid. The odds are the only reason someone hadn't killed him earlier was because of his father's position in the city, and now that that's gone, it's kind of it. That was the sun had to set sometime on that boy's head.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, I think she makes a statement very like this was a likely end for him.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So Taiyo's cheek after that.
Okay. Cool. All right. So Yugare and Aji arrive at the scene of the crime. Okay. And the scene of the crime is not kind of like out where you would expect everything to be. It's not like in a busy part of the market. It's kind of off to the side, maybe in front of a like kind of divey sake house that doesn't seem like it's probably like a legal sake house. And at this point, the Edda have probably carted the body away. Say that this happened it didn't happen like just minutes ago. It happened probably like some hours ago for this rumor to travel through to everybody. So the Edda have carried the body away. There's maybe one of them who's like scrubbing some like blood off of something, and there's some of the firemen hanging around. Let's say we're back to the fire eaters. Some of them are hanging around. The guys with like flame tattoos. Some of them are kind of standing around looking at this like, yeah, something went down over here, like just kind of gawking at stuff. Some of them were probably hanging out in that sake house. And when you guys show up with your badges, they kind of like make themselves busy doing something else and leave. But yeah, you've arrived at this place. And like I said, it's not in like the middle of the market. It's not like on one of these docks. It's kind of off to the side in front of this kind of divey, shitty back alley sake house.
I think Yugare will get there and be like to the guys who are cleaning and be like,
to the Edda?
Yeah, like ask them to leave. Like, hey, I'm gonna hang out here for a minute.
You know, you don't need to give them a reason.
Yeah.
And they leave.
And then, kind of make that like where
They take their soapy bucket of water and go.
Yeah. And use that as like my focal point to try to seek the kami's wisdom. I'm going to try to do the move where I can get glimpses of the past.
I figured as much.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And I'll make it so it doesn't look like some weirdo. It's just kneeling in the street.
+2 is 10.
All right, pretty good.
Which is just, I choose one. So I'll choose to hear the voices of those who were here recently.
Ooh. Yeah, and I think you hear like it like kind of rewinds, where you hear these, you hear the Edda being you hear the scrubbing of that brush. That when you got there, you hear some of the firemen kind of like talking maybe before that guy got there and been like, I thought there'd be more blood than this, or something like that, like making some really crass comment. And it kind of like rewinds further to the body being, you can hear the body being taken away, and it rewinds further to people being like, oh my god, oh my body, like that kind of thing. And then we get to the actual thing you're looking for. But again, you're just hearing this, right?
Only hearing.
Yeah. So you can hear.
She didn't smell one.
Yeah. Stinky fish.
Suddenly the scent of blood fills the air.
Yeah. So you hear kind of like the hustle and bustle of like the street, like a distance off. That is like the main drag that this is off of. And remember, like I said, this is like down like an alley or a nook or something like that. And then you hear kind of some like cries almost of pain and like protest. And you hear somebody, like the sound of someone being dragged or forced to move. And you just hear a voice. You hear a voice say, like you work for me now. And a pleading voice say like no, please, I don't want anything to do with any of this. Like I just want to live. I don't want anything to do. And you hear, I'm gonna I don't know how many fingers you need for this to work, but I'm going to start cutting them off until you decide to change your mind. And you hear like more pleading and protesting, and you hear like the unsheathing of a blade. And then as you hear like more pleading and protesting, like please don't, please don't, please don't, like kind of like very, very frightened person, you hear like Otato stop, and you hear a woman's voice, and he says like, "This is none of your business." The person who'd been talking before says, "This is none of your business," and she says, "It is my business. Let him go." And he says, "Get out!" You hear him say, "Get out of here!" And you hear like heavy footfalls, and then you just hear like the noises like clearly of another blade being drawn, and you hear like a flump over, and then you hear like, "Get out of here!" from the woman's voice, and you hear that person scurry away. You hear someone scurry away, and then you hear confident footfalls leave as more people are like, "Oh my, dead body. And we zoom to what you are hearing now.
Oh boy, that's complicated.
It sounds like a merchant is being assaulted because this man you told him, right? You told the kid that he had to
Find
Serioka's people and get them back, but Serioka's people had already been pillaged by the unicorn clan, and so it's like a merchant dispute, pretty much, where somebody died.
But it doesn't sound like it's an honorable duel.
No, it doesn't sound like an honorable duel to samurai. It sounds kind of like straight up murder.
That's a good point.
Sure, it's entirely right there, but it's hard to know why they'd both be there, or why she would be there, I mean.
Alright, so, speaking of which, Ishi arrives at the Ide residence.
And I don't know any of this, so I gotta go find this lady.
Yeah, so Ishi arrives at the Ide residence.
And let the servants know, hey, I'm here to talk to Otaku lady. She has a name.
Naishi.
Yeah.
Naishi. Otaku Naishi.
And I think you're told like, oh, like Lady Naishi she's not in right now, but I can have a message. I can have a message come to you like soon if you'd like.
Do you know where she is? I'd like to have a meeting with her.
And it's like, oh, only that she's out. I'm sorry.
Where do you find people in the city?
Isn't that the general servant message of like, oh, she's not seeing people?
Yeah.
Is that the most polite way of saying that?
So that's it. Just flash my badge and be like, well, I'm here.
How can you hold your badge?
Ooh, yeah. Good point.
I'm going to say,
all right.
I'm the Emerald Magistrate. I'm going to come inside and wait for here.
So you're welcome to wait in like the waiting room. That's always the thing, is they're like you can hang out here, but like they're not here. And they'll even still offer you like tea and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I want to
So you're just gonna like press the point?
Press the point and kind of like intimidate them a little bit, but not like threatening, but I'll just being like, yeah, you should probably find her like right now.
That's got to be either manipulate or then if you're not willing to use violence, that's definitely a manipulate roll.
Sure, I think this is just a straight up 0. Yeah, that's fine.
Not bad. You got a 7?
You
did it. All right.
What do servants want?
I think if you just pay this guy, I think he'll like.
That's easy.
Yeah.
I'll pass him.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Whatever. I know. I'm just trying to.
I'm not going to give him a whole wealth because he's like a fucking peasant.
Yeah, but you are telling him like defy
I'm going to use my wealth. But saying this man's not rich now.
Right.
This fucking
right. Well, he wouldn't be just with the one wealth anyway. But it's like that.
I think one was like a lot to it.
It is. Oh, it is a lot for sure. But it also has to be like a bribe enough for him to. Yeah.
Give him like a little bit of money. Not
okay. But yeah, so if you bribe this guy, he can just essentially just like move this process along faster. And so so eventually Otaku Naishi will show up and she'll like meet with you. And Naishi is a woman in her like early 20s. She's from one of the unicorn families, so she's related to Baronato, but like distantly.
Mm-hmm.
So she's some kind of like something a cousin removed or like niece removed from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she'll meet with you, and she'll like meet you at their stables. Actually, I think that'll be like a good place to meet. And so there's like these like various like really fancy unicorn steeds, and like the horse that she has is like just absolutely monstrously huge. Of course, and she's like she's kind of like taking like a saddle off of it and like handing it to a servant to go put away, and kind of like petting the horse a bit and saying, "Oh, Ishi-san, very good to meet you."
It's good to meet you as well.
And she'll like say like, "Sorry, I was out riding."
I heard that there was a conflict in the fisherman's quarter involving you and Bayushi Otada.
And she'll kind of like pet the horse a few times, and she'll say, I won't lie, won't deny it. Yes, that did occur today. He's a cruel man, and I didn't appreciate it."
Was there a reason you were in the fisherman's quarter? It's not generally a place frequented by people of your...
Yeah.
I mean, like, you're noble.
Samurai, yeah, noble.
Yeah.
And she'll say, like, the area where I wanted to go riding was on the other side. I thought I'd take a shortcut, but she'll say, perhaps I regret it, but
I don't think this boat hurt any horse hooves. But,
No, there were heavy footballs that I kind of assumed were dismounting.
I didn't. That sounds good. Okay. So, like, what happened? Like, why did you kill him? Why is he dead?
she'll say, "Oh, I heard a commotion. When I looked over, I saw that he was threatening a merchant most cruelly. I asked him to stop. He lunged at me. I defended myself."
So, self-defense. Not an honorable duel, but nothing to be held against you.
She'd say it wasn't a formal duel per se, but he was. Again, he was a cruel man.
Is this was this a merchant of yours, or just
She'll say,
a random dude?
She'll say, "I know that we're, meaning the Unicorn Clan, are viewed as foreigners, but we have a soft spot for protecting." Oh, and she'll say, like, "I'm sure as a magistrate you can appreciate this. We have a soft spot for protecting those weaker than us." And when I saw Otato preying on this defenseless character, I simply wanted to see that end. I didn't intend for it to go this far, but again, he'd always been hot-headed.
I'm going to just read her.
Makes sense?
Just, because I feel like sometimes I just talk to people and I'm like, yeah, they're obviously telling the truth, so I'm just not going to.
All right, we got a 9.
That's a 12.
12.
So that's
Beautiful.
pretty damn good for no reason. So it says, was she over there for a reason that she isn't saying?
Yes.
Okay. What was that reason? I'm just gonna pop 2 questions there.
Okay.
Just Sue?
She was checking up on her merchant, which is this merchant that's being discussed.
Okay.
So she was checking up on that person and encountered this.
What kind of merchant was it?
Nobody knows.
No.
Just some fucking dude.
I thought that was...
Got one more question.
One more question. Like asking why did she decide to check on her merchant? It's pretty weird.
Yeah, it's to do business.
For business.
Yeah, for business reasons. Gosh, what should I ask? Fielding questions here, guys. What should I ask?
What's your business with the merchant?
Is her hymen broken from riding a...
Nope.
All right.
That's their term for like peasants, though. She saved the peasant.
Be a good tricky question.
Fucking I know. I asked you.
Well, if the unicorn
questions
are
I asked?
ousting the opium stuff and then taking the same merchants that the opium dealers were using, maybe the merchant business is pretty relevant to the whole situation.
So what? Like, is this connected to Hida Baranana? Like, is he Hida Baranana? The reason that's way specific.
Is he a cartel lord?
No.
Not yet.
Dun.
You never asked.
Maybe like with that merchant.
It's her merchant. I know that much. It's like her merchant specific.
Yeah, is anyone else their boss? Serial killer?
Yeah, I feel like I want to ask her Yeah, like, okay, yeah, like, what is this merchant? Like, who did they work for? Who are they? What do they sell? Like, give me information about this merchant.
Oh, and I think she gives you, like, a very broad answer of, like...
Goods and services.
She basically says, like the kind of standard line of, like, oh, well, we're samurai... We let the merchants deal with all those matters of commerce, and we don't look into them too much. Merely seek to protect. Oh no, because she's not admitting that this was her merchant. So she'll just kind of give you the like, oh, I don't look into that kind of thing too much. I only saw someone who was in danger.
I'd probably ask her something, like, in character, I'd probably ask her something like, oh, do you know who this merchant is, so I can go, like, talk to him and ask him questions, and, like, that kind of stuff is something that I'd say in character.
Sure.
That's the in-character one, but, you know.
So I'm going to give you the answer, and then we can figure out how you figure this out. What was your exact question again? I lost it. Because I started to answer a different question.
What is every information about this merchant?
What do you know about this merchant?
Yeah, give me every ounce of information about this merchant. Give it all.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Question?
Right. What do you know about this merchant is the question. She knows that he is a former merchant for Soshi Seryoku, and that the thing he is best at merchanting is illegal opium.
Oh, no.
So, I don't know how you get that in character, like how your character figures that out.
No.
Yeah, because, again, she's denying that she...
Fuck, how do I
knows
find
this.
that out?
We could say that she gives you a name, and then you talk to someone else through, like, investigation, and you figure out the only person that this person used to be a merchant of Soshi Seryoku, but the only thing that they could do, that they weren't just any merchant, that they were like a person who was involved in the production of illegal opium.
Great.
Right.
Okay. That's the end of my conversation with her, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that clearly has to go back to...
What? Unicorn?
I don't know. They're not a really, like... I have questioned him, like, about opium before he gets...
Well, no.
That shit's super, like...
I feel he's going out the way to... Like,
he's definitely targeting...
Yeah.
Like, Seryoku's people and that kind of stuff.
I don't know, he's like...
My question is he using... Yeah.
I think that was... She's doing that stuff on his order, probably.
Yeah. No, he's definitely 100% of this is him.
What if unicorns are just like the trucking industry, and they do logistics for opium? They have the horses. Why wouldn't they be?
Because I thought that's what, like, Bayushi was like, oh, I got the horses, that's what I do.
That's Kurochika's game plan before.
That was his whole fucking game plan.
Alright, speaking of Kurochika.
Yeah, speaking of Kurochika, let's go fucking talk to him, Taiyo. Find out all you can. At least I'm finally in the sidetrack or something. That's all I gotta say. At least I'm finally in the sidetrack or something.
Cool.
After all 12 to get there.
So Taiyo arrives at the Kurochika residence, which is, there's a good number of Thunder Guard kind of just around. And there is the absence of that huge number of Bayushi samurai. The house is, like, weirdly still and quiet, with the exception of the birds.
Oh, right.
And so you're let in after a while, and Bayushi Kurochika is just kind of, like, in there feeding some of these birds, and he seems fairly, like, sullen.
Seem like morning clothes or anything? Is that a thing?
Do you want to be the person who gives him this news, or do you want him to already have heard this news?
Ooh, give him the news.
Yeah, that could be
give
dramatic.
him the news. That's going to be some shit.
So, I think he seems sullen. Yeah, and then he...
Oh, and I guess, I think I took his Daisho, right? Maybe the...
like, it's, like, on the wall. Like, he's, like, not wearing it. It's, like, hung up somewhere.
Oh, I was going to say I was returning it to him.
That could work.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, either way. Yeah, I'll just, like, you entrusted me with this, and I was to give this back.
Also, here's your sons.
Your socks?
Your sons.
Oh, yeah.
From who?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to come out here, but Shoju was... I was able to convince Shoju to, obviously, I guess you figured it out by now, just exactly what I said I would do.
Well, yes, certainly appreciated. Though now I found myself just like one of these birds, and I think he whacks one of the cages kind of like flippantly, and the bird like freaks out, chirps a bunch, and flaps about inside the cage. Though obviously it can't go anywhere because it's in a cage.
Gosh.
Yeah.
No animals were Yeah, it's not a good state of affairs. And he didn't know that his son, right?
That's what you said. It would be more dramatic for you to tell him.
Yeah, there you go. So I'll say, I also have to give you, some even more bad news that I heard. Otada was killed in a duel earlier.
I think his face just goes like blank, and like maybe he was doing something. Maybe he was like messing with the bird or something, and he just stops wherever his hand is, like still. And he says something to you that he said before, but he says it in a completely different voice. And then this time he just says, "Didn't you remember back to when a horse was killed?" And he was like, "Give me a name," and he was like getting really pissed off. Mm-hmm. And this time he just is like looking at this bird flapping around in this cage, and he just says, "Who did it?" But like very blankly, like almost impotently.
Do I get a sense of what he's feeling?
You could definitely roll to read him.
Oh, yeah. 12. And then like, what are you really feeling about?
You rolled a 5?
11.
Oh no, you rolled a...
Yeah, 11.
Feels bad. Some questions.
So what is he really feeling?
Yeah.
He's legitimately just very sad about it. And now he feels like Otada was his heir and his only child he was able to acknowledge at this point. And now he not only has he lost his son, but he'd already lost the power to do anything about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess in light of that, I might just say, well, just rumors. We haven't investigated, or we're investigating now, but it's like one of the young unicorn women, Samuraiko.
Say, who was it?
Yeah.
Taku Naishi?
That one.
Okay, and he'll like pause for a long moment and think, kind of like trying to remember. And he'll say something like, "Thought they had been friends at one point."
That's what I heard too. The Koku Kids, they call them.
Yeah. The Burger King kids.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't think they're called the Goku Kids.
I'm trying to make that work, he says. No. And he'll just say like, "Well, all of us have been betrayed, I guess." Oh, I think he'll just ask you and say like, "I can't do anything about this at all, Taiyo. I'm stuck here." And he's like, he just asks you, "Will you do something about it?"
Daimyo asked me to leave the governor alone. If we find evidence or if our investigation leads us to this unicorn acting illegally, do everything in my power to make sure she never does that.
Kind of like just looks down and he says, There's nothing I can do from here. It's a shame. It's a shame you won't do this. You won't do this for your cousin." Oh no, I think he says, you stayed my hand when I had power. It's a shame now that I don't have it. You won't help me.
I mean, what does he wish of?
Oh, he wants to
kill that lady.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're still. I hope that talk to the governor and make sure or see that you're reinstated after this winter ends. I'm still arguing on your behalf. Taiyo also feels powerless in this situation too.
Yeah, and he'll just Korchika just goes and he like haphazardly throws like bird food or bird seed, like seed to like another one of these birds, like a peacock eating it. It's big weird blue head, and
that's more about you than about how Korchika thinks.
Well, he's not thinking that. The peacock's doing that.
It just has a big weird blue head.
Yeah, exactly.
It's facts.
I think he just does that, and he says, I'm unable to do anything here. I don't have the resources to restart. I don't have the manpower, and now I don't have the respect. Maybe it would have been better if I had died. Things kind of continue for the next couple of days. I just want to fast forward to the next big event. Mm-hmm. Does Ishi tell these guys his suspicions that he found out about Naishi?
That she, totally suspected it's her merchant, and then I think that's why it's a Soshi Seryoku merchant.
That had been a merchant that worked for Soshi Seryoku.
Yeah, we'll tell him that. Yeah, it's a merchant who used to work for Soshi Seryoku, and that's her merchant now. And that's why she killed him, pretty much. As he was trying.
I think Yugare will report that the...
Well, I will say, she claims that, he attacked her first. And
Yugare will say he was a cruel man and his fate basically happened according to how it should have gone.
we're finally seeing the darker side of Yugare.
Yeah.
Yep, it's time.
So I guess not much of my family's going to be left here.
Hey, we saved Coutinho. He's not dead.
I don't know how much longer he has. He doesn't seem like he has much will to live anyway.
Jesus.
All right. So, 3 days after this, there's a visitor at the magistrate residence.
Oh, no.
Whenever you're there for whatever reason. And it is an out-of-towner.
Oh, it's better than I expected.
Please don't have blood here. Please don't have blood here.
So, he's a man who has one of those little domino masks, like Robin style domino masks. He's very handsome. He's smiling, and he introduces himself as Bayushi Saigo. On the scabbard of his sword are ribbons, some of which are kind of like a dark gray and blue kind of color. The others are kind of tannish gold color. And he's smiling, and he introduces himself as Bayushi Saigo, and he has something he needs to show the magistrates. And I think that's where we end this. City of Lies is Toan as Kakita Aji, Branden as Hida Ishi, David as Bayushi Taiyo, Andrew as Agasha Yugare, and Austin as your game master. The theme music for City of Lies is Mission of Danger by Lobo Loco.
Additional music for this episode includes Quaalude and The Depths by Cowpay. This American Dice Ryoko Owari City of Lies uses the City of Lies box set by Greg Stolz, published by Alderac Entertainment Group. The mechanics used is a modified PBTA system by Brendan Taylor of Galileo Games. Join us next time for more This American Dice. Hey everybody, if you could please rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcatcher, it would really help This American Dice. And for every 5-star review we receive, we'll read it on air. Join us next week for another episode of This American Dice.